Hey, welcome back. And in this episode of Old Man Hacks the World, we are going to go over DHCP, DNS, web server, A records, and setting up a kind of like a business network that has those types of servers and different subnets and different VLANs. Well, maybe not VLANs. Anyways, let's get her on. So, if you look here, this is kind of our network. This is kind of the IT subnet. IT is responsible for it. Well, they're responsible for everything, but this is what they use to communicate. This is our accounting over here. I should have labeled these, but my bad. And then this is our sales. And the reason why you want them separated is because often, not always, but often, you don't want your people that are in sales accessing files and folders on your accounting people for kind of a separations of controls, and you don't want your sales fudging the numbers and then accounting gets in trouble because that would be bad. So we can separate them, and with the router we can deny access as necessary. All right, so real quick, first things first, physical layer. All we did, is copper, fast Ethernet to the switch and all the way up to the router. Let me pull up the router. We'll look at the physical layer. It's got 3 ports, one to connect to the 3 different switches we hear. This particular model is expandable, so if you got more different subnets, you can connect them there and they'll be able to talk with each other. And then we did some configuration. So first thing, let it boot up, enabled it, configure terminal, interface 00, set it up, boom, it's up and running. Interface 1-/0, set it up, got it running, and 1/0, we already, so 00, 1, 0, and 2, 0. All right, and then once we got everything, we can use show running config, and that will show your current configuration. You may have to hit enter a few times to bring this all up, but it shows your 3 interfaces that are connected and how they are set up. So that's just a way to verify that when you were actually physically doing that, you did it correctly, and that should match your networking diagram and documentation. All right, so that's pretty much all that was it for the router. Then on each of the computers, let's open this one. There we go. Essentially, we set up the server to be a DHCP server. DHCP is the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol server. And what it does is it automatically assigns IP addresses and network configuration details to devices on a network. And so that was done over in the server box over here. In the servers, you can set up for your DHCP. And so we got a couple pools, for sales and accounting, and then a server pool. Server pool is kind of the default pool that's set up. And so, pretty cool. And then we also set up a DNS server. A DNS server is the domain name system server. Essentially, when you use TCP/IP, it's expecting an IP address, either version 4 or version 6. But I don't know about you, but I don't want to memorize the IP addresses of every single website website that I go to because I just can't do it. I'm not that smart. Um, and also they change. So by the time you got it memorized, they're going to change it. And so what we have, our domain name system, that what they'll do is you type in like google.com, and if it doesn't have google.com here in its records, it will go out and contact another domain name server, usually your IP or your internet server ISP will have one that's set up to do that. Or you can use a industry server like Google has one. I believe it's 8.8.8.8 is the IP address for that, and you can set that up in your PC too to use that one if you want. There's also some other domain name servers that they'll, for businesses or families, they'll actually filter out certain addresses so you can't visit them based off keywords. So like if you don't want your employees visiting porn sites or other nefarious sites, you can use those DNS servers on your computers, and it'll do that. So once it finds out what the IP address is, it can send the requests. Once you type in the address, it's like, oh, this domain is for this address. So in this example, this server is also a web server, and it's serving these files. And so over here, go back here real quick. So example.com is pointing to this IP address, which is, so anytime we get a message on port 80 for HTTP, and don't quote me on this, I want to say 443 on for HTTPS. I probably got, let me see. We can find out real quick. Yes, 443. I got it right. Look at that. Way to go, Tony. See, this old man does know stuff. That's right. Okay. So, but what we did here is we entered a record or an address record into its table. And so anytime it gets requests for this domain, it knows to send it to that IP address. And this could be, thousands, if not more sites, depending on how big and how many different requests that it gets to visit the site. So every time a computer, the user over here goes into its browser and it finds out something new, it'll add it. That way it doesn't have to contact another domain server out in the internet. You can just say, hey, this goes to there, and automatically forward the packets onto that IP address. Okay, so what we did, and so if you are your webmaster, you can go into the server and edit these files, add a new files. Essentially, you're hosting your website from there. And so that's pretty much it. That's, your typical, get everything connected, configure it at the different levels, your PC, your servers, your routers. And after that, you're all talking to each other and you're good to go. So I hope you're finding this stuff useful. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you find my content informative and you like it, you want to support the channel, feel free to subscribe, and we'll try to put out more videos. I know the last couple of weeks I've been slacking, been pretty busy at work. I'm a site reliability engineer for IBM here in Austin, Texas, and currently going to school to learn more at the University of Advancing Technology online. And so thank you. Leave some comments. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you hated. And, give me a thumbs down. Don't be afraid to hit that thumbs down if you think this video totally sucks. And thanks for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day.